We're going to talk about 4 ways that people relate to cultures. The way we relate to a dominant culture can affect how that culture influences us. The first way that someone can relate to a culture is as a foreigner. That means they look different and they think different.
Anytime we traveled anywhere in Europe or Southeast Asia where I had never actually lived, I didn't understand the culture.
A lot of times my dad would have Russian students over for Thanksgiving, which is a ridiculously foreign holiday for Russian college students. And a lot of the time, you kind of get swarmed with questions, and you get a lot of people trying to practice their English with you. And everyone's kind of curious about how you live, how you think.
In Japan, I'm half Japanese, half American, but my Americanness or my American features definitely stuck out very much in Japan. So they made sure I felt like a foreigner, and they would say that, like, you're a foreigner, you don't belong here, you're not Japanese. So that was kind of sad, and I got hurt. Another
one would be hidden immigrant. You can relate to a culture as a hidden immigrant. That means you may look like the people in that culture, but you think different.
I actually spent 5 or 6 years in China, but I did not think like a local. I looked like one, but I didn't think like one.
I don't have much of an Asian accent, so some people don't assume or don't think I'm from Asia, or they think I grew up here, but then I don't understand cultural references. I don't know what movies or music or what the most recent or hip thing is. And they're like, where have you been?
Coming back at 18 to go to college, I certainly felt that I looked alike, but I thought differently.
Adopted. That's another way. This one is looks different and thinks alike.
My accent is flawless in my host language, and I felt like I could navigate my city streets seamlessly. Obviously, I do not look Asian, so I did not fit in at all in that way. But definitely had the experience of viewing Americans in my culture as foreigners and projecting a they sense on them instead of realizing we were from the same country, technically.
The TCK, third culture kid, or cross culture kid, or MK, missionary kid, military kid, those, when they're in a group and we do something together, or like when we had like a camp or something, like that part would feel like that. Like we kind of all look different, but we all like think alike in a sense. So that is like encouraging for me.
Mirror. Looks alike, thinks alike.
To some degree, I would say that happens in TCK circles. Even though we all look different, come from different cultures, we have an understanding of what it takes to transition and leave people and learn to resettle. I suppose I'm starting to feel that now after having lived in America for a while, but it's still not quite the same. So
I think when that was the case, when I was truly and unbiasedly entered into a culture, I was too young to know it.
I would say now, many years later, I look American. I mean, America is such a melting pot, so I fit in and people assume I'm just, I've always been here. I talk like I'm an American, and now being here long enough, I think in many ways like an American. Now we talked about adopted and mirror. These are because both of these ways of interacting involve thinking alike, obviously they are going to impact someone more and drive more behaviors and more thought processes than, say, someone who interacts with the culture as a foreigner. They look different, think different, or the hidden immigrant, look alike, think different. If they haven't internalized the thought processes, the values, beliefs, and cultural norms are not going to be as permeated in behaviors and mindset. If you think these videos can help, please like them. If you would like to see more, subscribe. And if you have thoughts that you can add or things you'd like to see, please leave a comment.